Hello everyone. The topic for today is dividing decimals. We'll be covering dividing decimals by whole numbers as well as dividing decimals by decimals. We're going to start off with dividing decimals by whole numbers. The first thing we need to do, set up our long division problem like so. Then we will bring the decimal straight up directly above the decimal in the problem. And now, because we don't have any decimals outside of our division sign, we can divide as usual. So 5 does not go into 1, 5 does go into 15 3 times. 5 times 3 is 15, we subtract, we get 0, but we still have some more numbers, so we have to bring down the 3. 5 does not go into 3, so we have to add a 0 here at the top, which means that we'll also bring down the 2. 5 goes into 32 6 times. 5 times 6 is 30. We subtract, we get 2. Normally this is where you would stop. However, since we are converting this into a decimal, we have to keep adding zeros. So we add a 0, we bring it down. Now 5 goes into 20 4 times. 5 times 4 is 20. We subtract. Now we don't have any remainder. So our final answer, 3.064. Now I want you to pause the video and try this example problem on your own. Okay, let's check our work now. So we're going to set up our division problem like so. Since we're dividing by a whole number on the outside, we don't need to move the decimal at all. So we just bring it straight up. 4 goes into 9 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. We subtract, we get 1. We bring down the 8. 4 goes into 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. We still have a remainder of 2. We bring down this 2. 4 goes into 22 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. We subtract, we get 2. And again, since our answer is a decimal, we have to keep adding zeros. We add a 0. We bring it down. 4 goes into 20 5 times. We don't have a remainder now. Our final answer, 24.55. Now let's talk about dividing decimals by other decimals. So just like before, we're going to set up our division problem. But the difference is we now have a decimal on the outside of the problem. So we have to move the decimal to place it in the proper spot before we can begin dividing. So it's all based on the number on the outside of the division sign. So since the decimal needs to be moved over one time to make it a whole number on the outside, we have to move the decimal on the inside one time. So our actual division problem looks like this. Now that we've set up the division problem with the decimal in the right place, we can move on to the long division. So 15 does not go into 3. However, it does go into 32 times. 15 times 2 is 30. We subtract, we get 0. Bring down the 4. 15 does not go into 4. Sorry, I forgot to add my decimal at the top there. It does not go into 4, so we have to bring down the 5. 15 goes into 45 3 times. 15 times 3 is 45. We don't have a remainder, so our final answer is 20.3. Now I want you to pause the video and work on this example problem on your own. All right, let's check our work. So set up our division problem as it is on the side here. And since we have a decimal on the outside of the division sign, that means that we will have to maneuver the decimal so that we can start our division. Again, we have to move the decimal only one time on the outside to make it a whole number, which means that we also have to move the decimal one time on the inside to place it in the proper spot. So our division problem is going to look like this. Okay, and we're going to start our long division process. So let's rewrite the problem here on this side. And let's start our division. 25 goes into 37 one time. We subtract, we get 12. We bring down our 0. 25 goes into 120 4 times. We have a remainder of 20. We bring down the 6. Sorry about that. Let's fix that mistake. Alright, we have our remainder of 20. We bring down our 6. 25 goes into 206 8 times. 8 times 25 is 200. We bring down the 5 because we still have a remainder of 6. 25 goes into 65 twice. 2 times 25 is 50. Oops. We have a remainder of 15. Okay, and I'll pick this up here in the middle. So we would have to add a 0. We had a remainder of 15. That's the 0 that we brought down, this 0 right here. 25 goes into 150 6 times. 6 times 25 is 150. So we don't have a remainder, therefore our final answer is 148.26. If you have any questions about how to divide decimals, please bring them to class with you tomorrow.